we're going to talk about some viewer comments and then look at our polls. So the first thing we have here today is some comment by Bacon Beerify, dope name. But before we get into what their comment is, let's see the clip that they're commenting for or against. Here it is.
Okay.
You lied to me.
You're in shock.
You went up there to kill my father.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Deny it.
You're in shock. I'm looking for some place to put it.
You lied about why we came here, and you lied about why you went up alone.
I had every chance to pull the trigger.
My father was living proof, and you put him at risk. That's what Alliance bombs that killed him.
I had orders. Orders that I disobeyed. But you wouldn't understand that.
Orders, and you know they're wrong. You might as well be a stormtrooper.
Wait, so what is this about? This is about in Rogue One, they went to go kill Jalen Orso. Or Cassian went to go kill Jalen Orso because there was that order from the rebels who said, like, go kill him, it's important. Is that right?
Yeah, and he was the big target because he was like the lead guy on the Death Star project.
Mm-hmm. So instead of capturing him and bringing him back in the base, the rebels said, like, just kill him, secure the kill, right? Yep. Okay, so Bacon Beerified, dope name, super fun. Says, what does you being a physicist have to do with your bad take? Ooh, dang, man. Nothing, I guess, right? So we're physicists by training. That's what our degrees are in, and that's how we like. It's like how we think of the world. It's interesting. Like, it's hard to turn it off. Like how you're educated, and how you just see what's going around in the world. So I guess in this particular clip, us being physicists doesn't really matter. But we are physicists, and it's how we see the world. So that's all that is. Yeah, I guess in the same way, like a baseball player, you can get their opinion on basketball. You don't have to be like, shut up, you don't know anything about basketball. Like, I don't know, they're a fan. That's fine. Yeah. You really think? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just physics training gives us this like mathematical, logical way of looking at the world. That's how we look at the world.
But I'm not, to be clear, I'm not like 24/7 physics all the time. Like, I can go to the bakery to get some baked goods. Like, I can still like baked goods.
Sure.
Okay. Follow up. You really think killing one guy in a project this size will do anything? Ooh, interesting point. But that being said, I think sometimes yes. Sometimes yeah. Like, so I guess an example is an assassination. I guess this is an assassination.
That's
so
right.
So Lincoln being killed, my understanding is that was a big deal. A big deal because Lincoln had the personality to not overly punish the South, like bring them back into the fold. Like, we're still brothers. We're all Americans. Like, what are we, or brothers and sisters? We're all Americans. What are we doing? And so if a different president came down too hard, you just stoke the flames for our future rebellion. So the fact that Lincoln was killed meant that Reconstruction went very differently than what it could have been. So in that instance, for example, killing one person is a big deal. I guess another example is killing Julius Caesar, and so that marked the end of the Republic and the beginning of the Empire, the Roman Empire. So a big deal to kill one person. Sometimes.
I was actually thinking of the Soviet space program. The head of the Soviet space program died in '66. It was a heart attack, though. It wasn't an assassination. But like, people speculate, like, if he hadn't died, would the Soviet space program have been able to get to the moon or done some other things? Maybe, or maybe not. So it's hard to know. But like, was the loss of the big head honcho guy a big deal? I mean, maybe.
Yeah, so I guess in summary here, we're saying there are moments in time where a single person's personality really weighs heavily on the course of history.
Yeah. And
okay. Like there was an assassination attempt on Hitler, but it failed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it failed.
Like, how would the war have gone differently if Hitler was killed 3 years earlier?
Right.
Big deal.
It is hard. You can't go back in history and be like, let's look at the alternate timelines and like mix and match and do the whole. They can't do that. So we're guessing, but it seems reasonable that sometimes assassination's important.
Right. Sometimes, there's like second in commands that will just take over, no problem. But sometimes big deal.
Yeah, sometimes not.
Let's push on. So, have you ever built anything? Yeah, we've built lots of stuff.
We've built stuff.
In fact, sometimes some of the things I built, like, I had to build it myself because the technical staff, the engineers, don't have the physics knowledge of what the purpose of the thing is. So they would design something that would be optimized for the stuff that they think about, but for the physics experiment, it pretty much had to be me.
Right.
And then there's the other side of it where there's theorists that are like, build something. I don't know, just build it. Like hang it in, like hang on a little bit. Let's get a little bit of reality in here. So yeah, we built stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Bacon Beerify has a solid point. If you've never really built something, especially in these large projects,
Yeah.
like, which to be fair, I haven't been on like a Death Star size project before. You know, it's a different beast where a single
true.
person might not be that important.
That's true.
So, but I think the higher up in the command hierarchy you go, the more important the people are. So
even at my level, I'll have 3 or 4 engineers and technicians that do their part much better than I would, but they don't have the vision that I have of the overall project. And I'm not even senior. Like I am reporting to someone else above me too. So even I don't have the whole vision. That being said, let's push on. There's never just one guy who knows everything. I think that is generally right.
that's true.
But there are instances. There are instances where it really is one person who knows everything. And my favorite example of this is he's a Japanese guy. I forget his name, but he discovered he not discovered. He invented blue LEDs. It was back when LEDs were starting up. There was red, green, and yellow, but blue was like the elusive one, the one that if you can get red, green, and blue together, you can RGB and make white, and then you can do the ratios and get all sorts of different colors. But if I remember, it was something like the band gap that makes the blue emission, which is materially like people are just mixing stuff. We couldn't figure out what type of PN junction would shoot off that type of light. And then this one guy, he's like, I'm gonna solve this. I'm gonna, and so he like disappeared from the world. His publications went down. He like stopped coming into work. He would just stay at home. And then one day he showed up. He's like, here's blue LEDs and here's the theory. I did both. Like what a badass! Like, god damn.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes, and I guess also historically, like the scientists from the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, they were kind of lone operators. They just had like a rich person, a patron that was like, go play with your science stuff, figure some stuff out. And then they had journals where you would communicate and tell other people what you're working on, but you really didn't have labs with lots of students. Like you had yourself and maybe one student. So that's kind of one person that did it.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the project too. Like the blue LED project is small, in the sense, literally like physically small, so it's impossible for a single person to do it. Whereas like an aircraft,
oh no way, many people.
There may be some high level guy who like knows all the systems, but he won't know the details like a worker. So sometimes there's a guy who knows everything. Sometimes there's like a guy who knows kind of everything, but not to the detail level.
Right.
Depends.
Yeah. So aircraft design is a good example where somebody who has the aeronautics, like I guess, how do I say this? The aerodynamics information, they may not have the tensile strength information about each individual screw. Like that's just somebody else's job.
Yeah. So, so it's tough. So this guy's comment, so Bacon Beerify, his comment, there's not just one guy who knows everything. Generally true, not always.
Yeah, there are special occasions, yeah.
For many projects, it's true that there's never just one guy that knows everything.
Generally not, yeah. Although, okay, I also thought of another limiting case. So when there's these top secret stuff, which I don't know, I don't have top secret, I have no idea, right? But I think it's reasonable to say that there's compartmentalization. So if you have a big project, you split it up across 100 people, and no one person knows what everyone's doing, and they don't crosstalk. You don't let them crosstalk, because otherwise, if someone is captured or there's like some like leverage, like we saw you steal something and we're going to blackmail you, like you want that person to have a very small amount of information. I wonder if there are projects where nobody knows all the information.
That would be
that'd be interesting, right?
I mean, they got to be like at least a leader who's like, we're putting together super secret aircraft. So let's do it. And then all the teams have no idea what they're working on. That could
Yeah,
be,
I mean, right?
but
Or let's step it down one level, and there's two leaders, and like one person is in charge of electronic warfare, the other person, okay, that's a really small system. One person is in charge of flight characteristics, the other
Mhm.
person is in charge of weapons, or I don't know. And so but no one person knows the whole project. But it's only when they meet together in a meeting,
Mhm.
like one time before a project is like the planes in the air, and they're like, oh, assemble it. Maybe.
you know, this is like from the movie from 20 years ago, Cube. You ever seen that?
I have not.
Where it was, why did this cube get built? This horror machine. Well, there was a government project that emerged. Like everybody was working on subsections of it, but nobody knew the whole, and it had emerged from the government bureaucracy, and they built this horrible thing. I was like, "That's a cool idea."
That's a cool
no,
idea,
there's
yeah.
literally no leader. It's just an emergent project. I like it.
Who's really pulling the strings? I don't know. I wonder if that's a human characteristic for us to assign there must be someone behind the scenes pulling the strings. But actually the answer is just different departments not talking to each other.
Yeah, gosh, it's tough.
Maybe.
Sometimes there's somebody pulling the strings. Often it's just nobody. It's just
I've encountered that at work where I was like, can I put this thing here? And everyone's like, I thought I was going to put it there. Like, I thought I was going to put it there. Like, I thought it was like, okay, you guys are not coordinated. What is
yeah,
happening?
What's going on?
Okay. Anyway, good comment. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good comment.
Some limiting cases that break it, but all right.
Good points.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other comment? We had another comment. We were gonna
Let's get another one.
liked?
Yeah, exactly. So Stefan LOS, same universe, uses advanced starships. Let's look at the clip first.
Boom.
The
Man, that's
computer
a big
simulation
impact.
suggests that when the comet strikes the planet in 2 days, there will be no survivors. Options.
The lab can't.
Okay, I remember this. We made a statement of this is future is the 23rd century or whatever it is, and that the computation on the USS Enterprise must be fantastic. It's like supercomputers by today's standards.
Yeah.
But we were surprised at how late they found it, like found the asteroid, right?
That's right. And you'd think this simulations, considering it was weeks into the future, days into the future, the simulations would happen pretty much instantly to figure out if a collision was imminent or not. We were surprised. So,
okay, so that was the launch to Stefan LOS. So same universe where these ultra advanced starships that have energy weapons don't have the ability to lock on and fire energy weapons at incoming torpedoes and missiles or rockets, which can't instantly triangulate the position of a cloaked vessel that is firing based on the origin point and trajectory of the weapons when in what? Where's the quote?
that's okay. I got cut off.
Okay. But if I remember, the rest of the quote is that when in modern days we have weapons that can do this. So why in the future do we have weapons that can't do this? Why are today's weapons better than the future weapons?
Well, I guess today's weapons don't have to deal with time lag. That's a big one. So, like, if I
What do you mean?
see, if I see something fired from a ship, like I actually visually see it, I know where the ship is.
That's where
But
it
in
is, that's
Space,
right.
if it's far enough away, it could have moved because it took 10 seconds, 20 seconds, minutes for
You're saying for the light to propagate.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you see something, the speed of light is so fast on the scales that we have that's where it is, right?
Yeah.
But when we're talking about space, like the distances are large. Like if you see something at the sun, no, you didn't see something at the sun. You saw something at the sun 8 minutes ago. Like, so where do you target now? Like that's where it was
That's right.
8 minutes ago.
Right. And with I guess all cultures have warp drive, which throws it off even more because they could just be like, "Pew, I'm out of here." So you have no idea where they are. So maybe tracking, in the case of he's talking about the missiles and rockets and stuff, firing weapons. Maybe it's possible. It's just we have no information. Maybe.
Yeah, speculative.
I'm saying I'm saying Starfleet.
I live in the
I'm not on
world
the
where
ship.
we are already start. Okay. Okay. So following up on this cloaked vessel thing, this is a good point. I will say though that if a vessel is truly cloaked, then it should be invisible not only to the visible spectrum of light, but to all spectrum of light, which well, all spectrum of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, which means that it's just a nothing. Like you send a signal out there, you send a little laser beam, and the laser beam just doesn't come back. So what's the difference between the laser doesn't come back and it hit something but didn't come back versus it didn't hit something and it's still going? There's just nothing there. Like without that feedback, without the light coming back to you, it really is just nothing there. And there's how do I say this? It's
there's nothing.
You don't even know that there's nothing there. It's just it's as if the light went into space and never came back.
Right. But he has this point about like, so assuming it's truly cloaked that you can't see it. When they fire weapons, you can find the origin point of the weapons fire.
That's a good point.
But if we're talking like Earth to moon distances, and I believe it's like a second or two for light to travel from the Earth to the moon. How far could say a Romulan cloaked vessel move, fire the weapon, a second or two later, even longer, we see, oh, that's where they are. How far could they have moved in those seconds? Because they're going to want to move right after they fire because they know you can detect it.
Right.
And that's a pretty big sphere, probably. So
right. So I guess it's how quickly can they move their massive ship is what you're saying. Yeah. How quickly can they accelerate? And I guess if you could do like point-to-point jumps, like, little warp speeds, that would be the most dangerous ship. Because how does anyone counter you? Like they're like, they are shoot, but you've already teleported somewhere else.
Wasn't that was the Picard maneuver where he like warped in system to change his position. Right. So I mean, even if it's just impulse drive, how far can a ship move? I think it's impulse drive in like inside the solar system is pretty fast.
Pretty fast.
So if you're talking fire, 2 seconds later, they're a couple Earth radiuses away. I mean, how are you going to hit?
You're not going to hit. You're not going to hit at all.
Yeah.
So
I think he has a point, but also there may be complications with tracking.
Yes. Okay. Let's on that same thought. So the energy weapons and plasma stuff, torpedo stuff, these would have an enormous EM signature. Whereas cloaked vessels, cloaked, you won't see it, but a plasma, there's all these free electrons. Like they're ready to get light waves, hit it, and then immediately re-emit it out. So they would blip on radar like an enormous rate. That being said, say if you're here at the U.S. Enterprise and you see the enemy lasers, phasers, or plasma being shot at you, if you ping out some focused laser, sure, you need like or even spread energy signal, and it's a spread electromagnetic radiation. If it hits that plasma and radiates back, well, it's radiating back at you at the speed of light. But so is the phaser, so is the laser, right? So then they come at you at the same time. So even if I could send out this wide dispersive sensor, where's anything that's coming towards me, if it's coming back to me at the same speed as the projectile, well then I'm still going to get hit by it. So maybe that's a limitation of the speed of light is the speed of light. There's no double to the speed of light.
Right.
So maybe Starfleet engineers never went down the path because they know there's no point in detecting that, because if you get hit, you're already hit. You can't detect anyone. You're already hit.
That's true. There is an element of that. Like, why waste the research and stuff on that?
Right. This is also an additional interesting question here. It's if you encounter an alien species, what weapons might they have and how would you counter it? Because like all of the weapons tech and defense tech that we have here on Earth, it's like a ladder of, you made this, well, I'm going to make this. Well, you made that, I'm going to make this, and so it's climb, right?
Right.
But what it would be like is if you encountered an alien species, they didn't have this back and forth with us. They didn't have this cat and mouse. Like they went on their own technology, and so then we're trying to match them and counter them. To make it a concrete example, like say the U.S. and the USSR, we incremented our intercontinental ballistic missiles and our missile defense system, and then aliens showed up with bioweapons, and we're like, I wasn't thinking about that at all, or we here on Earth, we have bioweapons, and we know, like, oh, this is how you defeat a bioweapon, and they come in like, no, we're just going to bombard you from space. Like, what would humans do against that?
Right. So if the tech trees don't match, it's kind of 50-50 as to which tech tree can kill the other one better.
Right.
You know, maybe the bio wins, maybe the missiles win. It's tough to say until you meet. Ooh, you don't know.
Kind of an argument for we don't want to find aliens
Yeah, kind of not.
because there's a good probability they have significantly better technology than us.
Yeah.
There's like a
Agreed.
narrow sliver of a window in the Star Trek universe where desperate alien species end up having about the same technology. Yeah, we can duke it head to head and then come to peace after.
Yeah.
But there's a
Yeah,
good
the
probability
tech-
that someone gets just stomped.
Yeah, the tech would have to be pretty equal when they meet for it to be an actual war.
Right. Other than just like straight up wiped out.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, cool question. Super cool.
Yeah.
Got us
Cool.
thinking about some interesting stuff. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Yeah. All right. And I do have to get out of here. So we'll
So we'll end it. See you next time.
we'll end it there. See you guys next time.